Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to Foreign Currencies with Scott. So, today is Sunday, August 24th, and we're going to spend a few minutes just looking into what we're doing and where we're at and what's coming next for us. So, what you see on the screen is our account, which was started with $2,000 back on July 1 when we started the $1,000 challenge. So, what is the $1,000 challenge? The $1,000 challenge is to make 50% on our $2,000 original investment in 1 year, meaning that at the end of the year, we will have $3,000. So, it doesn't seem like a lot of money. Start with 2,000, end with 3,000. But the exercise here is about learning how to trade foreign currencies and manage the trades every day throughout the year, and then to learn at the end of the year that we were able to make 50%. So once you could do that, once you could do it consistently again and again. And you don't have to start with $2,000, of course. You could start with completely different amounts. But I think we would all agree that if you could make 50% a year on your invested money, you would be doing very, very well, more than most people who are doing any kind of investment. So that's what we're about. That's what the $1,000 challenge is about. And now, having said all that, you can see that we are just barely, barely by inches over our $2,000 starting point. We're at $2,000.72, hardly even enough to register on a percentage scale. Now, in that almost 2 months, we have had 7 trades, 3 of which were winners, 4 of which were losers. So over time, what we hope to do is have a 50-50 record, and we're just a smidge below that. One reason why we're below it is because we made a mistake on, I believe, what's been now the last trade that we've made in our following the markets every day. We thought we saw something that wasn't there, got a little eager, and made a trade, and it was the wrong trade to enter. And even though it still could have gone for us, it did not, and it went against us. So our record to date is 3 wins and 4 losses. But the good news is, despite having 3 wins and 4 losses, we are still up, even if ever so slightly, for the year. So once we get to 50%, we'll see that number grow, and we will continue on our way to 50% for the year and meet our $1,000 challenge. So things have been pretty interesting in August so far, and I thought we would take a look at some charts to see what's been happening, because some unusual things have been happening. So let's switch over and take a look at that. All right, so we're going to take a look at August and what has happened. So as usual, we are looking at the GBP USD pair. We're looking at a 5-minute chart. You can see both of those indicators in the upper left of your screen. And 5-minute chart means that every one of these little candles, whether green or red, represents 5 minutes. So you may notice, and I'll move it to the middle of the screen now, a pretty big green spike on Friday morning, meaning the price of the pair went up. But if we go back before that, you'll see that most every candle going backwards is very small, very short, not very many candles that have much height to them at all. So there is movement in the pair. You can see it going up over time. You can see it down here. You can see in the middle of the screen there was something of a downtrend. But even individual time periods, I'm going to try to get on this green candle here that's near the center of the screen. And we can see on the left there that the highest during the period was 134.26 and the lowest was 134.12. So that's just 14 pips. So that green candle that you see there to the left of our vertical bar, which is now in the center of the screen, was just 14 pips. And that's not just the candle part, that includes the wicks. And as we know, as you should know by now, when we follow the New York close, we're looking for something that moves at least 30 pips away from the closing price, either up or down, before we're able to make a trade. So, what has happened now in 15 or 16 trading sessions, essentially the entire month of August, is that there simply hasn't been that much movement. So right now you can see on the right hand side of this chart, in the middle of the screen, but middle height wise, but on the right, 134 400 and 134 600. So that means there's 20 pips between the two lines. So if we go to the line here below these candles, and then the line above the candles, that's just 20 pips. So we need a 30 pip move in a single direction within a certain period of time. We need it from the close of New York to the opening of London. And we just have not seen it during the foreign markets in the month of August. So you can see here the candles are a little bit taller here, but this is 4 a.m., 6 a.m., 8 a.m., as you see at the bottom of your screen. So that means it starts out as London market and then becomes New York market when we get to 8. But as soon as we move to the left of that, 2 a.m., you see that the candles are very short indeed. And what we are looking for is that 30 pip move between 1700. Let me just expand this so you can see 1700 at the bottom of your screen on the left, and 0300. And you can see that we just haven't had that. And that goes for the entire month of August. So we have talked before on this channel about when you flip a coin over the long haul, you will get close to 50%, half of the time heads, half of the time tails. And there are streaks possible though. So we could have a streak where we get heads and we win, maybe 7, 8, 9 times in a row, or we get tails and we lose 11, 12, 13 times in a row. Well, what we're seeing now is something we haven't discussed, which is 15 to 16 times in a row. We've flipped that coin and the coin has landed off the board. We can't see it. So we have to flip again. And that is where we're at right now. So we have to exercise patience. It's not going to do this forever. It's going to come back for us. You can see this big move that it made on Friday morning maybe is signs that the market is finally ready to start breaking out of its doldrums. We shall see. All right, so just to review again, our record is 3-4. We made the one mistake by getting impatient here in August. We thought we had a trade and it did not meet our criteria. We put in the trade even though it didn't meet our criteria, and it went against us and we lost. So our record is 3-4. We're up slightly for the year, and we just need to be patient with August here and see if it will give us some days in which we can make a legitimate trade. So we're going to go ahead and take the rest of our time here and set the market up for the London Monday opening. And so what we will do is we will draw a vertical line first, and that will mark where New York closed on Friday. And that was right there. So that first red candle is what happened when Sunday opened. And then we'll draw our 3 horizontal lines. So first we'll draw the line of where New York closed on Friday. So 135,284. I don't think that's quite right, but I don't know if it's going to let me land on this anymore. Let's just zoom in. You can see that we're a little off here. We need to be at the top of the body on the green candle. So this is more likely to be the correct spot. Now we've been able to see a little pop-up says Friday 16:55, a 5-minute period. So that's the end of the market day on Friday. And it closed at 135,279. So sometimes these little pipettes are a little bit difficult to get to on the phone, just using your finger. There, we've hit it. It's much easier on the computer. You can zoom in and then hit the up arrow key or the down arrow key, and it'll put it exactly where you want it. So now we'll put in our upper and lower limits. So the lower limit from 27 would be 97. So let's go ahead and ask for a new horizontal drawing, and 979. All right, 977, close enough. We'll take it. And then from 27, we want to go up 30 to 57. And 57 will be right there. And we got 57.9. Okay, so now we have our 4 lines drawn. Our vertical line representing the time that New York closed, and then our 3 horizontal lines. So far the foreign markets, not much variability around that middle line, but we will check in when London opens and see if it's crossed either of the 2 outer lines and created a trade possibility for us. So we'll have 3 market days where we'll get this opportunity, and we will check back with you midweek and see how everyone is doing after the first 3 days of this week. So in the meantime, any questions, any comments, please leave me a note and I will get it and respond. Until then, take care, everybody.